But in the midst of all that time, all that signs that God was showing me to slow down, to stop, to take it easy, to call on Him more, to depend on Him more. I just wasn't get it, And I'm sure, if I'm talking to my men out there, that you know that when something not getting done, you're getting pressured, from everybody, family, friends, your spouse. It's like you're back up against the wall, and you know the right thing to do. You know the right thing to do, but you're looking at the situation in front of you and saying, like, how am I gonna make this work? How? It's not gonna get done unless I do it. And we feed into what the world says, go out there and grind. Don't sleep. Team no sleep. Continue to work. Continue to tire yourself out. Make it happen. Make a way out of no way. Continue to do the impossible. But I was doing that. I was working 3 jobs. I was barely home. I was barely seeing my family. I was barely eating. When I was home, it was just enough time to take my daughter to school, pick my son up. I was, then back around the same cycle. I was working 3rd shift, leave 3rd shift, come home, drop my kid off from school, try to take a little bit of rest. When I wasn't doing that, I was doing DoorDash. I was working at Amazon all the way until, 9 o'clock. Then I got to go back to work, my 3rd shift job at 10 o'clock. It was a constant cycle over and over and over, just so I can so-called stop the bleeding, stop the, bill collection from calling, stop the debt from coming in. Try to give us some breathing room because, I put myself in the situation, feel like this was my fault. We were experiencing this because this is on me. So I have to be the one that fixed it. And I'm a man of God. I'm a man of faith. I know that my Savior can provide all of my needs. But at that time, when the walls are closing in, it's hard to hear. You get claustrophobic of the tension and the pressure that's on you as a man to fix it, to make it right, to do the impossible, to do what it takes, to the point where I put my own health at risk. My wife and I wasn't seeing eye to eye. She could see the pain that I was going through. She could see the disconnect. And she wanted me to slow down. And I just didn't want to hear it. And I said, I just, you don't understand. You don't get what I got to do. You don't know the pressures I'm up against. It's easy for you to say, stop. It's not on you, it's on me. But literally, I know she was looking out for me. But I didn't want to hear it. I didn't. All the thing that was driving me was, I have to fix this. I have to do this. Let me do this. Let me be the man. To a point where even God was telling me to stop. And I tuned him out. I kept on going. I was I live in Pennsylvania. I was on the turnpike. While I'm on that turnpike, literally lost my life a few times. Falling asleep at the wheel, car turning, waking up in the wrong lane, falling asleep at the traffic light. Light turned green, I go to the next traffic light, fall asleep, wake up, descending down the hill. Don't know how I got there, but I do know. Blessings be to God and his angels who covered me. Because I've seen people get in accidents in the same road that I was traveling many a times going to work. And God's angels literally took me up, moved me to another lane in a safer street, where when I woke up, I was confused. I didn't know where I was. I was going down the hill, but I was going down the hill at the correct speed limit. Jesus. You may not want to accept it or feel that, God is near you and God hears you. He hears you. I promise you, he hears you. He saved me more than once. And that was validation of that. And you would think that'd be enough for me. But still, I continue on to going to work. Continue on grinding. Continue on pushing that clock. Until I went to work the one night. And came in the same way I always came. And I slid on the floor. Twisted my back. My back might have cracked maybe 20 times. From my waistline up to my neck. Immediately, my hand goes numb. I have no feeling in these hands. None of them. And if I would grab it, if I would try to hold something, the pain intensified. It was almost like my hand was rattling on the inside. I called my wife, telling her, like, hey, I just slipped and fell. And she asked me, hey, you okay? I was like, I don't think I'm okay. I don't feel right at all. My neck is tingling. It's very painful. My hands doesn't have a feeling in them. I can't feel anything really. And when I try to grab things, it's very sensitive to the touch. She was telling me, hey, you need to leave, go. And still, my flesh, rolling my hand, you got to stay. You got a job to do. You got work to complete. You can't lose your job over this. Suck it up. Keep going. Call my manager. I was like, hey, I failed. I don't feel right. Even him would say, like, you want to leave? I'm like, no, I'm going to stick it out. I'll go when my shift is done. Still not getting it, right? Shift ended. I go straight to urgent care. Have them look me over. They say, yeah, you got a herniated disc. You probably, to be sure, let's get some x-rays. The MRI is done. I was like, okay, cool. I still want to go to work. I still want to provide. They wanted me out of work that day. I was like, no, I still got to go. I still got to go. I still got, I don't want to be out longer than I need to. I got to provide for my family. I got to make this work. I got to provide. You don't understand. I got to do this. So he wrote me off a little bit, told me to take some medication. In the midst of me, all the medication I was taking to make the pain go away, nothing worked. They prescribed me physical therapy, chiropractic sessions for my back, my neck, and my hand. I had to see acupuncturists. I had to talk to many of surgeons to see, like, if this doesn't resolve itself with physical therapy, we may have to take more evasive measures, meaning that we're going to have to go into your spine where the problem is in your neck and pull it out your disc, because right now they're affecting your nerves so bad, we don't want it to get worse. Again, I'm thinking, like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want the surgery. I don't want to leave work. Let's do the physical therapy. Did the physical therapy for like 6 months. Each day that I prolonged this, each day that I prolonged what God was telling me to do, made my situation worse. To the point where now, like, not only was I having feeling in my right arm, I started losing feeling in my left arm. I started losing feeling in my toes, my legs. I went to go, this was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. Went to go put my shirt on, prepared to go back to work. My neck literally got stiff in one position. I couldn't move it. I had a bulging cramp in my neck that came out. Couldn't move anything. Was just stuck there. My wife literally had to hold my shoulder down to make sure the knot goes down in order for me to move it again. I was like, in that moment, see, I know you're going. You're going to ER. Went to ER.
They looked me over, did they did some more tests. They're like, you're on like 5 different medications. You're taking physical therapy. You're going to the chiropractor. You're still trying to go to work. You're doing these things. You're not getting better. You're making yourself worse. We're going to have to sit you out. And even them hearing this, I wanted to deny it, wanted to continue working. Even still, when I tell you your flesh is strong, your flesh is strong. The flesh is strong, the enemy is going to try to prevent you what God has for you. He was doing exactly that. Because he sees your potential. He don't want you to get there. He don't want to get you to the finish line. He don't want you to see the inheritance that God had already laid out for you. So he wants you to retreat. He wants you to harm yourself. He's playing with my mental. I'm sure he's playing with your mental. But I think, the angel spoke to me, and God was telling me that if you continue this, you could be paralyzed or worse. If you continue not to follow me, not to listen, this is where you're hitting. I looked at my children, looked at my wife while I was in that hospital, and I was thinking, and she was talking to me like, is this what you want to keep doing? When is enough? So at that moment I said, it's enough. I'll stop. Called my boss, told him like, I can't come in. I'm not going to come in. It's too much for me. I got to get better. In the midst of that time when I was out, I wasn't getting no short-term disability. I wasn't getting no long-term disability. I wasn't getting any workers' compensation. Bills were piling up. I couldn't do anything. I was heavily, medicated, trying to keep the pain down. It was up to my wife to do everything. It hurt me so bad to see her do everything. It hurt me so bad to watch her get up every day, get the kids ready, to go to work, go to school, and I'm sitting there in a chair because I can't do much else. Please, if you're going through something, please listen to what God is telling you to do. Break free from them chains that the enemy is trying to hold you back from. Break free. I prayed and prayed and prayed. God spoke to me. He said, I know it's hard right now. I know it's hard. But I have to sit you down. Because if I didn't, you wouldn't listen to me otherwise. So I need you to be down to the point where you can't move at all. I don't want to slow you down. I want to sit you down completely. Because if I slow you down, you'll find another way to do some type of work. Maybe I'll go do work remotely. I won't have to go in. No, he wanted me to sit down completely. So I sat down, and again, it's a year. No work. Still waiting to get, results back so I get the surgery. Finally get the surgery. Still no work, and again, we had bills to pay, we had rent to pay. We were facing eviction. Again, we were facing homelessness and able to feed my family. I felt worse. I didn't know what to say. Like, God, this can't be what you have for me. I'm finally sitting down, but my family's suffering. What is this? What do you want me to do? In the midst of that, God said, I got you. Be patient. Come to me. Seek me. Cast your cares and worries and your fears and your doubts onto me. So regardless of what was going on, what I can see, yeah, things are rough, things are tough, but it's going to be okay. God's going to make it okay. It's going to be all right. Yeah, I know the bill's piling up, but it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. I kept speaking affirmations into my life. I kept speaking the word of God into my life. And during that year, not one bill was late. The rent was paid. Food was on the table. And God made me better each and every day. He got me waking up early in the morning and he had me do walks. After my surgery, I was told to do exercise to build up my strength and build up my mobility. And me running track for a few years, I'm thinking like, I know how to do this. I'll jog until I could run again. Couldn't jog anymore because I had a meniscus tear, probably a couple of years prior from her getting injured, and I was so never to run, but I could walk. And I tell you, it's when God wouldn't take you through baby steps, He take you doing baby steps, really, because I felt like walking took forever. That I would never make it to a mile walking. You imagine doing a mile walking? But that's what He had me do. I walked each and every day to the point where 1 mile turned to 2 miles, 2 miles turned to 3, 4. I was doing 7 miles by the time everything was said and done. But during that 7 miles, I was at peace. I had no distractions. I had no job calling me. I was not even my family distractions. I was just me and God speaking in nature. And He gave me a blueprint. He gave me a plan for my whole life from now till way past now. 10 years, 15, 20 years from now. He was talking to me about the future and what I can expect, what I need to do from here on out. And I kept that word. It just, when you hear from Him, you finally hear from Him clearly without the distraction, everything makes sense. Fast forward now, we're like, God placed me in a perfect job that does not too strain from my body, that respects me, that respects that I'm a family man, respects that I'm a godly man. God blessed us with our first home. He blessed us with a new car. And the only thing He requires is faithfulness. That the story that you've been tested over and over again with the same storm, that is your testimony. So I'll vow to continue, no matter what, to tell my testimony, to speak out to people who are hurting as well, who are struggling, who are yearning for a break, who are yearning to hear from the Lord. He hears you. He's waiting for you. He's there for you, telling you He'll never leave you. He never left. He's always been there. He's just waiting for you to give Him all your attention. We're too busy on our phones and social media with work that we can't hear anything because it's so loud. We get in our head about things. Tune that out. You'll be able to hear Him clearly in the same direction that He wants for you. I'm believing in great things for you. Those who stop to watch this video, I'm believing in great things for you. In the name of Jesus, I declare that your storm is over, that it's near its end, that the enemy cannot hold you back any longer from what God has for you, your destiny, the promise. Your promise will be fulfilled. Your family will be taken care of. You will break those generational curses that's been bounding you down for so many years. You will not take on the same trait that your father did, that your mother did, that your sister did, that your brother did. God's going to build a new nation, a new foundation in you. He's just waiting for you to take back and listen. And if those who have this story, who've been delivered, who've been out of their storm for quite some time, speak on it. Tell your story. Whatever you've been tested, make that your testimony. That is your testimony for someone else. It's going to help someone else get through. And I will continue to teach. I will continue to preach. I will continue to reach out for those who need help. My name is Ernest T. Easter. Please follow me. Please like this video. Please share it. I'm here I'm a man of God, trying to do God's work, and I'm trying to reach as many people as I can. If you have any help, need any prayers, please hit the like button, hit the bell button, comment. I'm trying to keep this going. But I need your help. And if I could pray for you, I would love to pray for you. I would love to touch and agree with you on what God has for you. Have a blessed day, everyone. From test to testimony. Hi, my name is Ernest T. Easter, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about everything faith, family, and finances in that order. I haven't posted in a while, quite some time actually, and I wanted to come on here because I know that this is something that God was propelling me to do, something that God has conditioned me to do, and what I was made to do, and that is to tell my testimony, because I know someone out there will need the same testimony to pull them through whatever situation they may be into. I'm telling you that you can win. I'm telling you that you can make it. I'm telling you that it doesn't have to take you to go hit rock bottom to make it. So I hope that you listen. I hope that you take what I'm saying and you apply it to your life, and you don't waste time. You don't wait till the last minute to speak to the Lord about your problems, about your issues, about what's going on. Learn from my video and grow from that. And I want all you guys to win. I don't want you to have to take the steps that I had to take in order to realize what God was trying to tell me, what God was trying to tell me, what Jesus was trying to tell me. Because he was speaking. He's speaking all the time to us. But are we listening is the question. When it started back, my family and we're a young family. I've been married now 8 years, but at the time we was going into our probably like 6th year of marriage, and we already had our daughter. We was welcoming, it's our 5th year of marriage. We had our daughter, was welcoming our son, and at the time, it was kind of hard to get excited because on top of welcoming the son, we was also dealing with an eviction. We was in a rental townhome, and we was dealing with eviction. We were dealing with credit card debt. We was dealing with at the time my daughter was 3, so we're trying to get her into a place where they can watch her full time, so we can go to work and provide. We're dealing with some very hard times, and it was affecting us mentally, it was affecting us physically. There was times where I would wake up with blood in my mouth from excessive biting at night while I'm sleeping. They call it bruxism, where you tend to grind your teeth or bite yourself. It's a form of anxiety, and it was just dealing with all the pressure that was on my shoulders, on my wife and I's shoulders at that time. Pressures of having to figure it out, having to get it together. We should be further along than where we are right now, and we wasn't. And then I had to look at myself like, you're the man of this household. How can you let this happen? How can you be so selfish? You should work more. You should do more. You should be involved. And everything that I was trying to do, it just wasn't working. I was making things worse for myself and for my family.